Can I ask you, and I think one of the best parts about you, Kristina, is that like you are no bullshitter. Like you call it out. Like you're just you and you're real. But I feel like, did you ever feel like you couldn't come forward and be like, who the heck are you? Like, why are you talking about me? Like, did you ever feel like you had to not say anything because he would come out and say more things about you? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, did you feel like you couldn't come out and fight this guy online and be like, stop listening to him. Everything that he's saying, he's like just skewing this entire stigma about me or this storyline about me. Like, what compelled you to just kind of stay silent and just like kind of gives him so much power?
So at the time, I was kind of scared of him. Like, what information does he have?
Right.
Not that there's anything terrible about me. I think I was more concerned about people in my life that it was all new to them, this whole Bachelor, and then reading spoilers and how I'm being perceived by the public. Like, people in my life cared about that. And I was kind of scared, like, what else will he say and come out with? And then just over the years, I kind of let it go, I think, because the damage was done. And then, like, there's not much more he can say. And I'm kind of like over it.
Right.
Now that, I just also thought like nobody probably will listen to me and like coming out and saying something about him on my own at this point. Like,
right.
Sadly, but you almost need a few people together to like bring this one person, like awareness to this one person, because he's the only one, well, at the time and even to this day in Bachelor Nation who does the spoilers and people like know of and go to. And it's like whenever he says something,
people run with it.
People run with it, and there's nobody else to fact check with because it's like.
And your words like not, it's about you, but your words not big enough almost to
right. That's
to
what
put
I felt. I was like,
yeah,
I'm just this big if I'm coming out on my own. I just
Did you reach out to anybody else from your season or from the show and see if like he's done the same thing to them or anything like that?
I know there's a few others. I think he just like had a maybe personal vendetta against me because I wasn't listening to his messages necessarily.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is not to cut you off, but what I'm asking you is when it happened and you don't want, and you're at the time nervous or you're hesitant to talk about it because you feel like nobody's going to believe you. Did you reach out to anybody that was on your season or even Dean or somebody and be like, hey, like, is this guy coming after you too? Like, that's kind of what I'm asking.
I mean, I'm sure I've talked to Dean before because we were both in it. The girls on my season, I think they had their own problems with him, or some of them I know probably, not probably, I know that I have talked to him and like stayed on good terms. So like I couldn't talk to them. It was just what I was going through with Reality Steve was something I had to turn to my hometown friends to, because like that was the reality. The bubble I was in was so amplified. So I was like, okay, I need to like check, like, is this getting out? Is this as big as it actually is as I'm experiencing it, if that makes sense?
Yes. And you know what? I will say this, Joe, to sort of go on your question. I talked to just randomly when I heard that all this stuff was happening, I talked to 3 girls from my season and just asked them, hey, has Reality Steve ever messaged you some weird shit? All of them said yes. So like, if that, so that's just 3 people from my season. I'm sure we heard Jade's testimony. We heard Jenna. We're hearing you. Like, he's definitely, this is an issue. This is a problem. And going off of what you said too, Kristina, how you felt like your voice wasn't big enough on your own and you needed, people to come in. And we've seen this happen historically with men and women. One woman accuses one man of something, preferably or normally a white man of something, and nothing happens. But we have to get a gang of people. And I think that's why it's so important to listen when people say things like, this makes me feel uncomfortable, and not say you're being overly sensitive or, all the little buzzy words that people say to downplay how a woman is feeling. So I'm so happy that you are speaking up and saying how you feel, because it does matter. And that you being afraid that your voice doesn't matter against his, we have to change that. We have to change that narrative, right?
I was just going to say, if I were to speak up, the people that will listen to what I have to say is the loyal followers. And those loyal followers also read what Reality Steve posts. And they already have an idea of me that he's planted in their minds. So it's like, okay, well, she's speaking out. She's only salty because X, Y, Z.
Because he said this about her.
Which is what I was going to say. It's like sometimes people think it's so petty when you have something to say to counteract what he's saying. Because like, well, why are you paying attention to that? And you're like, because he's spreading false lies about me and it hurts. Yes. But people just like immediately dismiss you like, oh, well, it must be true. You're getting defensive about it. And so you almost feel pigeonholed. Like, I don't have enough people behind me. He has like this crazy army of people that just listen to him for God knows why. I don't know. And it's a scary place to be in when it's like you have to defend yourself like for who you really are. But again, still nobody listens.